True life, I'm an email marketing copywriter, which means I love digital marketing, but I also am obsessed with my privacy and my data online. It's a weird life. So Apple and iOS have some privacy updates that are coming down the pipeline, which yay when we have our consumer hat on, but cringe for our email metrics. These changes are going to directly affect the email metrics that you're measuring in your creative small business as you use email marketing, so let's talk about it. Now when you first hop in and look at your email marketing analytics, you may get a little bit overwhelmed with all of the geeky vocab flying around in there, but I want to break it down and make it as simple as possible for you to track and figure out what to look at so your email marketing is on track for success. By the end of this video, you are going to hear what email marketing metrics actually matter and the ones I don't really care about. Plus, since we are on the cusp of that new iOS update, I'm going to give you my opinion on what things to actually change up and how you can prep best for it. Specifically in this video, what I want to walk through are the open rate, the click-through rate, your unsubscribe rate, the conversion rate per campaign or per email, and then your overall list growth rate. And if we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Ashlyn Carter. I'm a conversion copywriter for creative entrepreneurs like you. If as I'm talking you want to grab some email subject line swipe files, then look down below. There's a link in the description box. You can grab 42 of them, all free, all yours. Okay, let's hop to it. Number one, your open rate. Come out of the gate here and give you the big secret. I've talked about this in some other videos. You want to make your subject line, which is what your open rate is kind of dependent on, you want to make that obsolete. Instead, I am far more concerned about how I and how my copywriting clients can build that know, like, trust factor so much that when a reader sees your name in the inbox, it's no question, they absolutely click open. They want to hear from you. Now, here's why that matters more than ever. Apple has recently unveiled some of the features that the iOS 15 update will have. And for many of us working here in the digital marketing space, some of these features are a little bit, shall we say, not so fabulous. Like I said, I love privacy as a consumer, but it's going to hurt the way we track email measurement, and that's okay. We just have to prep for it. As it is, open rate is a super inaccurate metric. Think about things like unroll.me. If you use a tool like that, that screws things up because essentially to track an open rate, here's what happens. An email service provider embeds an invisible pixel in each email. Then that email goes out if the email is opened and the image is displayed. Tracking information is sent back and recorded as and open. Sounds great in theory, but it's simply not reliable.
From far away, it's okay, but up close, it's a big old mess.
I'm telling you all this because I don't want you to freak out so much about your open rate. We're gonna get into what you actually should worry so much about in the rest of this video. But yeah, if email open rates weren't that imperative for us to look at in the future, now with this update, according to tactical.co, with this feature, you are not gonna be able to tell what recipients are using iOS 15 devices when they open the emails. And open rates are important for tracking the success of most campaigns. At least a lot of us look at it that way. Furthermore, this is my favorite part of the article, it's the metric that most marketers use when cleaning your lists. I mean, if you've cleaned your list before, this is probably something you've looked at, who's actually opening your emails. So how can you prep best for this update? Well, today, go ahead and put it on your calendar for this week or next. I want you to go ahead and clean your list. I've talked about how to do that in some of my other videos, so I will link that down below, but that is paramount for you to go ahead and do. You should be cleaning your list regularly anyway. Number two, your click-through rate. This is, surprise, surprise, the number of people that after that email is opened actually click the hyperlink that you have inside your email where you want people to go. For example, when I send out my weekly dog year newsletter, I include my main link that I want them to go to 3 different times. So that's the same hyperlink 3 times. I'm going to put it once above the fold, so for people on mobile devices, it's there at the ready. I'm usually going to link some sort of either an image or a button, and then I'll also probably hyperlink an entire sentence. That percentage of people who click the link, that forms the click-through rate. That is always the metric that I'm way more concerned about than open rate. And while industry standard varies from industry to industry, a whopping 2% is kind of the overall average, so that's something to think about as you're looking at your metrics. I harp on it with my team when we're going through and crafting different campaigns for our copywriting clients, but one thing you can always do is remember that each email has one goal, essentially one CTA. Now there's variance there, I'm going to change it up sometimes, but overall I have one goal and one big call to action or link that I'm driving to in every single email. Yeah, sometimes you'll send out roundups, but by and large, go with that rule. Another tip, and I talked about this when I did a video all about your subject lines, you would think that your subject line has more of an effect on your open rate, but weirdly enough, it actually has more of an effect on your click-through rate. Another way to say that is your click-through rate can change depending on how powerful and strong your subject line is. Think about it as when they see your subject line, that is priming them for what they're gonna see as whatever they should click on in the body of your email. And that priming is very important. A little mathlete note to mention here for you to remember, your open rate and your click-through rate are going to naturally decrease as your email list grows. That's just how math works. That can be helpful to keep in mind as you're hearing maybe how peers are doing in the industry, or those metrics can be different depending on somebody who has a 100,000 person list and somebody who has 100 people or 1,000 people on their email list. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below, does that 2% industry standard click-through rate number surprise you? Does it make you feel good? Is that a little bit more on track to what you are seeing in your email marketing platform? I'd love to know. All right, number 3 is your unsubscribe rate, and hot take here, but I don't care about this one that much. I'll tell you in just a sec what I'm more concerned about, but I would always rather, whether it's social media metrics or email marketing metrics, I would always rather have a smaller list of more loyal people who are tuned into what I want to say and want to be there and don't mind me pitching and selling from time to time than a broad list of people, a lot of who are just there for the free stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love me some free stuff, but you know what I mean. A friend in my mastermind told me recently that when she logs into Putter inside her email marketing platform, she actually puts up her hand and holds it over where that unsubscribe number will be so she doesn't even look at it. That's a great tip. It may work for you. I don't really mind seeing it when I log in because I know that I know what that number stays around, and like I said, I'll tell you what I'm more concerned about in a minute. Okay, open rate, click-through rate, unsubscribe rate. The next one we're concerned about is the conversion rate. You knew I was gonna say this one. This is what happens when they get on the other side of that link that they clicked in your email. Do they actually convert? Do they do what you wanted them to do? Did they go to the shop page and buy the template? Did they click through to the sales page and actually purchase your offer? Did they click through to the reg page and sign up for whatever challenge or webinar or hype piece you have going for your launch? If you follow the quarterly champagne campaign system that I teach inside Prime to Launch, which essentially is setting up your business to do 4 big launches a year, then when you're in one of those launch seasons, this is when you start to measure for that metric. Your typical weekly newsletter probably isn't going to be as concerned about converting because we're starting to, in those weekly newsletters, knock over the dominoes, tackle those objections, start to prime for your offer. We're not all that concerned yet about converting to the sale. But when I'm in pre-launch or that hype piece phase, then I'm worried about this. Now, in a recent video, I walked through and basically gave you a screenshotable example of what your email funnel could look like for a, say, evergreen webinar launch. That may help you. I've also talked about conversion rates borderline ad nauseum in this video. I will link that in the description box. Here's my final little soapbox moment. Launching is a numbers game. I know I've said that before here. I'm gonna say it again. I tend to see students and clients be a little surprised that conversion rates are just by and large lower than maybe what they were expecting. And that's like most math, most numbers, that's not for us to judge. It's just something for us to keep in mind as we build our lists and as we grow for our traffic leading into a pre-launch or launch phase. You got to do that backwards math and figure out if this is the goal that you want to sell, how much traffic do we need to go into that funnel? All right, and the last one is number 5, list growth rate. Okay, I told you I'm not as concerned about the unsubscribes. What I am concerned about is this though. This is essentially the over-under of how much our email list grew in a single week. The new subscribers minus the unsubscribers or the bounces. What you wanna track here is your email list growth and attrition, either week over week or month over month. Quarter over quarter. Basically, are you adding more email addresses every single month than you lose through your unsubscribes and your hard bounces? You want to make sure you're tracking all of these metrics when it comes to your email list. I want you to get ready for that iOS update, and I want you to just map these things at least quarterly in your business. Again, that's open rate, click-through rate, unsubscribes, conversion rate, and the overall list growth rate. These provide such valuable information, and they're going to help guide you in the direction that you need to go for your email marketing fabulousness in your business. If you've got any questions about the metrics I covered today, as always, make sure that you leave them in the comments below, and be sure to check out the video I have right here on the screen for you. I'm going to show you all about how to craft a sales and a launch sequence for the upcoming big marketing campaign you've got in your creative business. Here's to working from a place of more rest, less hustle, and I'll see you in the next one.